Když vám před očima zabijou kamaráda, tak na to nikdy nezapomenete.
Pamatuju si, že teta si směla zabalit jen to nejnutnější. Kufry nesměly vážit víc než 50 kg a balila je pod dohledem českých vojáků.
Zabil je, ale já vím dobře, kde jsou ty hroby a kde je zakopali.
Vykašlete se na ten průzkum, šetříte si práci. Ta škola dělá ve vesnici zlou krev. Lidi nezajímá to, co bylo před 50 rokama. Lidi zajímá to, co bude zítra.
Okay. At this point, I should be alive. I'm watching the chat. Sorry, I'll switch. Yeah, here. Okay, now it's good to go. Please tell me if everything is alright and if the sound levels are fine. They should be. I checked, but you know, sometimes things go wrong and you don't even expect it. But anyway, hi you all. Welcome into the stream open screens block of Charles Games, which is fortunately not just me, but a small team here in Prague, and you know the lottery ticket to stream and to be the face of our game Svoboda 1945 Liberation was drawn by me. So hi, I'm Ondřej. I'm a developer and also a marketing guy. But I'll try to keep the big marketing words toned down. But anyway, it's great to be here. Thanks so much for all the to all the amazing people, and thanks to the jury for choosing us as a nominees for prize. So okay, yeah, I see the chat. I'm gonna be able to react, so if you have any questions, comments, like things you would like to see in our game, I'd be super happy to answer them. You might have seen us at Ludonaracon, you might have seen us at GDC, you might have seen our game multiple times, but here we have the almost release version, because the game comes out on August the 3rd, so I'm really super excited to be showing what is basically an almost finished product. What's left are just like a few polishes maybe. I'm not gonna tell you what those are because you would then see them, but let's dive in and let's show you what the Svoboda 1945 Liberation is all about, because I think the game is quite, distinctive, kind of I guess a weird, but in a good sense, adventure. So let's go. I'm gonna delete my developer profile for you guys and gals. So let's go. And but that is intro. I'm not gonna speak too much at this point, but I'm gonna let you breathe in the atmosphere. I love the birds. I think our next game should be about birds. That's our lead game designer, by the way, in the video. Okay, so here we are. We have arrived. Oh, this is 2 weeks ago. Oh, this is now. I'm sorry. This is now. We have arrived. And we are in the village of Svoboda. That's actually the name of the game and the name of the village. And this is kind of a narrative trick we did. You will see why. But here we are in the present, basically at the kind of end of the game. And we will be retracing our steps from 2 weeks ago, just in a second. So here we are. We were sent into the village to survey a local schoolhouse. and we discovered a village haunted by its past. And what is important here, the number 1945 is not accidental. Our game deals with the aftermath of World War II, deals with shared Czech-German history, but also topics that are much more general, like history, reconciliation, family reconciliation, family traumas, and stuff like that. So what we were trying to do here with our game is to create a story that is embedded in a historical memory and was made actually in cooperation with historians from Czech Academy of Sciences, but something that is still very much a game that is full of emotions, that is full of game scenes and all of that. And also, as you will see when I click,
Vykašlete se na ten průzkum.
it's very much tied to the history of the FMV or full motion video genre.
Lidi nezajímá to, co bylo před 50 rokama. Lidi zajímá to, co bude zítra.
Okay, that was a tough looking guy, actually my favorite. As we can see, we gather those things during our travels.
A ve škole zastřelili
And
mého
we
bratra.
see what is
To vám pan
basically a
Studnička neřekl, že byl u
flashback
toho 8. května
kind of
45.
of the things we've seen in the village, and we are actually about to see in the game. So this sort of we have actually really took effort with this scene and reworked it several times to kind of show you all the different topics you can expect in the game right from the get-go, be it, you know, the collectivization traumas or the expulsion of Germans after the World War II, like in this video. And we want to kind of introduce you all of the main characters you will be meeting, but to give you a sense of that they're enshrouded in some sort of mystery, right? Because like you see all these often tragic events and important events and moving stories, but you can't tie the knots yet. But that's what the game is about, actually, about tying knots. I think we should put that into our marketing claim, a game about tying knots. And this is one of the more important knots here. Okay. This is a very important photo. There's a dramatic sound there. I hope you can hear me and the sound well. And now we are actually in the timeline the game is taking place. 2 weeks ago. Okay, who was that guy? By the way, I'm watching the YouTube chat, so you can drop your questions and remarks there. Okay, so we work for the Heritage Institute, and you know, there's a guy in this village who are seeking a landmark status for the schoolhouse, which, as we will see, will be very important to the events in the village. Investigate a school and its history or approve or deny its request. Sure, that sounds about right. What would a historian do? For those of us who've played a demo earlier, you can see we added a bunch of tutorials and stuff to help you navigate the scenery and to give you an introduction to the story, so you know what's happening. Bye. By the way, the game is at this point and will be released in Czech and English, but we are also planning a German version later, because this is a game much about Czech-German history.
Vy jste od těch památkářů? Tak necháte to zbourat?
And now we're playing, and this is we have 3 kinds of gameplay in the game, or 4 maybe, it depends on how you categorize it, but this is one of the dominant ones, and those are like Bandersnatch, like interviews. So I'm here in front of the school with this tough looking guy. You know, I can't say anything from outside. Can I come in?
Ale jistě.
Wow. Like, tough
Kde
guy.
začneme? Na půdě? Pojďte.
And here we are on the second more traditional adventure gameplay when you have these. I'm sorry if I'll be dropping too much developer talk we have, but like interactive scenes in which you rummage through stuff.
Tam se nedostanete. To si dávno zamknul, klepal.
Okay, there's you can see this highlight of the clickable objects.
To jsou kluci z jednotky. Nikdo z nich už nežije.
Right, you know, there's a death, there's trauma, there are moving stories, probably war in the village. So now we're ready to go up. Yeah, this is the attic where actually
Za války se sem
very
prý
important thing will
Němci z
happen.
Reichu jezdili rekreovat. Chovali se tu jako panská rasa. Za to
All the
Češi
stuff
pro ně byli
in the game,
podlí.
by the way, is meticulously researched by people. Okay, cool. Yeah, I will. Thanks, Philip. Our historians made sure that each item in a game is historically accurate. So this poster, you could see those posters in the 30s. So rummaging
Toho
through.
jsem si nikdy nevšiml.
Okay.
Kdo ví, jak dlouho to tu je?
And we got a key, so you know what's gonna happen. We're gonna open stuff. So
V té jsem byl u Dukly s generálem Svobodou. To byly jatka. Šli jsme proti Němcům skoro bez munice.
obviously most of those scenes have some like end state we want you to get into, but it's totally up to you if you
Vyseli dole
No.
ve třídách.
look on these portraits of Czech presidents or Czechoslovak presidents. So we give you a lot of stuff to like build up your own picture of the era and of the context you're in, because we are very much aware that Czechoslovak post-war history is not something that is not even generally known in it. I'd also argue not generally known even in Czech Republic. So we had to take care to kind of, give you enough to keep you in the
Mojí
picture.
ženě. Marii.
And also like a little stuff like these that kind of help you create the characters and to emphasize with the characters. And now onto the big high point of this scene.
Tak tuhle bednu jsem snad nikdy neotevřel.
Great.
Ta tu asi zůstala po Němcích.
Dramatic music plays. What? That's my grandpa? And that is the exact point where the history that we've only talked about in a more general sense becomes personal. Because it's your grandpa, and now what we wanted to achieve with the story here, we wanted to show all the arguably dark histories and contested histories and moving histories, but we wanted to show how those big events we were taught about, like Second World War II or different battles of Second World War II, looming of communism, coup d'etat by communists in 1948, how all those things actually impacted lives of ordinary people. So, we have several claims for our game that we stopped using during the months of development. One of them was the war is over, but there's no peace. And the other one was history through the eyes of ordinary people. So this is something we think we are doing quite uniquely, since you have a lot of games that are dealing with historical topics and historical memory, and are maybe even historically accurate when it comes to uniforms, when it comes to tanks, when it comes to all the different machinery. But we are actually, I think we go beyond that. We wanted to go beyond that and not just represent some military idea of war, of past, and we wanted to show the human side of history, and also the very personal one, which is the place where the pictures of your grandpa come in. So, yeah, my grandpa is one of these photos.
Jo, tenhle? To nevím. Ale zeptejte se studničky, bydlí vedle. A chtěl s váma stejně mluvit o té demolici.
So this is Jan Vlk, as we will see later, one of the locals.
To nevíte, to se tady bude bourat všechno. To dostane Klepal. No ten si to tady chce zbourat a postavit a rozšířit tady svoji firmu. A starostka mu to samozřejmě prodá.
There's a school.
Učitel Studnička, ten by z toho rád udělal pamětní místnost. No, ale snaží
It's
se
about
o to
to
už
be
strašně
torn down.
dlouho a nic. Toho si ten návrh na památku, to je jeho další pokus, jenom jak tu školu zachránit.
And we won't have time to go through it all, but like gradually you'll see that this schoolhouse we are surveying
Protože kdyby nepovolil
is at the very center of all the events that happened in the village. Expulsion, communism, after war, everything came through that schoolhouse, and the schoolhouse is implicated in it. So we're seeing, we're depicting history not from a human side of point of view, but also showing how a very mundane thing or mundane structures such as schoolhouses can be actually sites of historical memory.
Dobrý den.
Dobrý den. Hledáte někoho?
Já jsem se tady narodila za války. Teď to tu vypadá úplně jinak. Tam za těmi okny jsme bydleli. Můj táta tady dělal ve škole ředitele.
No a co? Chcete se sem vrátit?
Ne, já bydlím už mnoho let v Německu. Chtěla jsem to tady jen ukázat mojí vnučce.
Great. So now we have another piece of the puzzle there, or maybe another complication of the narrative. We not only have locals, but also a woman who returned for the first time since the 1940s when she was expelled as a child from this village on Czech-German borderlands, which is actually a very contested topic, the expulsion of Sudetenland Germans in a Czech public debate. And we are yet to see if we will spark any kind of controversy with this game, which is not our aim, but you know, we're starting doing TikTok, and it's super heated up there, mostly from the Czech side. So this is our map. But by the way, we think we really did our due diligence with the historical materials. So as contested as this topic and these topics in the game overall can be, we are not telling you what to think, and we are showing you different points of view to make up your mind, to make up the mind of your own. So here we are on our map, which was drawn by a renowned Czech artist, Wojciech Šeda. And as you can see, it's very detailed. I, by the way, love those trees who almost look like they have faces. And there are cows. They will play some role later. And there are a flock of sheep. Yeah, you're right. I only said that because I like the word flock. Anyway, so here we are, and this is where the main gameplay happens. What you've seen up to this point is mostly tutorial, and here you can decide where to go. So I think I'm kind of interested now. Who's the Anna? Okay, and this is what we call the notebook pages for characters, where you can see the basic info if you're ever lost. And maybe some additional info you will gather during those interviews will, be up there. And if you like what you're seeing, vote for us in the Amaze Audience Award.
Promiňte, dobrý den. Hledáte někoho?
I think I'm gonna go with doing a survey of the old school, since being with a purpose always helps me, or professional purpose always helps me personally to overcome the social anxiety.
No, moje vnučka se někam odběhla, ale proč ne? Pojďte dál. Tak, co byste si přál?
I think I'm gonna go with the photos. There are, I think, multiple ways you can relate to the problems and narratives in the game. Well, you can be the professional who wants to find out as much as he can or she can, about or they can, about the schoolhouse, or you can just go straight for the photos because that's what, resonates with you the most. So we really allow you different modes of engagement with history, and I think that's really interesting as well.
No tak to muselo být těsně po válce, kdy se tady tyhle lidi objevili. Potřebovali si být vztek na sudetských Němcích, kteří tady ještě zbyli, což byli starci, ženy a děti. Že?
Okay.
Řekla bych, že tu fotku fotil můj bratr Rudolf. Byl focením přímo posedlý, ale toho člověka neznám, nikdy jsem ho neviděla.
So our grandpa is probably a little tough nationalist guy? Let's see, I don't know. Yeah, there's a question in chat. Please drop some more if you want. Maybe a question for later. How did you find your actors? We had a bunch... we had a quite extensive television crew or film crew with a director, which are all listed in the credits. And they did a casting, and most of the people who are playing in Svoboda are like professional actors and theater actors. And that's one of the many differences between our previous game, previous Amaze winner, Attentat 1942, because most of the actors there were hobbyists. Like they maybe played in some small ensemble, but were mostly hobbyists. But for Svoboda 1945, we have professionals. So that's one of the many, of course, many. I'm a marketer, I have to say this. Many differences between those two games. But okay, now we're interested in a guy with Flexoret camera. Since I also had a camera like this.
Vy jste to našel? To není možné.
And we, by the way, have
to byl můj
scenes for
starší
photo
bratr, já vůbec
enthusiasts.
nevím, co se s ním po válce stalo. Naše zatkli a odvezli někam pryč s dalšími Němci z naší vesnice. Teta se potom snažila přes Červený kříž zjistit nějaké detaily, jestli o nich někdo něco neví, ale bohužel nic, takže to s nimi určitě dopadlo špatně.
And again, you can either close it right away if you don't want to, you're tired of the photos, but you can dig a little
to je
deeper.
ta celá naše rodina, máma, táta, já a Rudolf.
So so there was a thin line in our narrative design, and everybody who made some narrative heavy game, I think, can sympathize with this. Is that there's a thin line between showing your players everything you need and everything you kind of want to make sure they see all the important bits and pieces while keeping some satisfactory degree of agency. And this was actually a subject to a heated debates back in our studio, but I think we kind of nailed it here.
Prosím vás, nemohla bych si ty fotky nechat? Je to pro mě velká vzácnost.
Okay, and this is one of those decisions which is not you can make. Like, I need them, but I can send you copies. I don't know. I'm gonna be a good guy here.
Děkuju.
You're welcome. Okay, I don't know about the time though. Okay, well, we're halfway through almost. So what is your impression so far of Svoboda 1945 Liberation? I have yet to show you the most important bits, so let's go. Well, not the most, but like another kinds of gameplay we have. So what happened when the war ended?
Pořád se mluvilo o příchodu Rusů. Lidé si přáli, aby válka konečně skončila, ale o ruských vojácích kolovaly hrozné historky. Když se fronta přiblížila, tak jsem byla zrovna u tety, tam mě vzala a ještě s několika dalšími ženami jsme se schovali v jedné stodole. Všechny se hrozně báli, co bude. Ne, nás odsunula až československá armáda na jaře 1946. Pamatuju si, že teta si směla zabalit jen to nejnutnější. Kufry nesměly vážit víc než 50 kilo a balila je pod dohledem českých vojáků.
If you're anytime missing some context, we have this encyclopedia in the game where you will gradually gather info about the different historical events, places, and people, and you can easily just read historically verified information about them with unique historical footage, which, as you probably
Si
can
nejvíc
see by
vzpomínám
now,
na to, že jsem se
we
pořád
have
ptala na
implemented this
rodiče.
in the game.
Teta říkal, že už se s nimi brzy setkáme. Muselo to pro ně být hrozné.
And now, interactive comics. No, not yet. Here's another kind of a game we call Player Memory. I will talk about our approach to replaying history just in a second, but this is another kind of gameplay that is more traditional adventure-like or game-like, and not just about talking to people. So here you can, you are tasked to bring stuff with you for the expulsion, and you have to decide with each object if to keep it or leave it. So we wanted to put you in the shoes of people who live through those tough decisions. So can I keep it? I would pack it though. And through your clicks and you're gradually learning all the little details that are painting a vivid picture of the situation Anna here was in 1946. I don't think they'll be able to take this, but let's see. Fur coats were luxury items. Here in the closet is one of my most favorite items in the game. I don't know why, I just think this looks really great. This is not my work, I was only a scripter, but I think it was really like colorful, and at the same time you really want to rummage through those. Let's see, yeah, they are forcing us to speed up. Family heirloom left there. I'm not gonna go through the whole scene, but here again you have the option to end whenever you wish. So I'm gonna leave. Yes, so I did pack that fur coat, which I shouldn't have, because that would have been dangerous. And now, time for interactive comics by Wojciech Šeda, a Czech comic artist, which shows you the history, which would have been, we didn't want to film or restage the history, so you only see it either in the form of a historical footage that's been licensed to us by a Czech film archive, or by this comics rendition, where again everything that you can see there is drawn to be as historically accurate as possible and being consulted with the historians. So these are the actual, I don't know, type of boots you could wear at that time. Imagine leaving your dog or cat behind. So you can explore. So now we can either explore more of her own story, or learn or dig a little deeper into the national and cross-national relations that this particular kind of event spurred between Czechoslovakia and Germany.
Odváželi nás na nákladních autech, byla tam spousta lidí, mezi nimi hodně starých. Jedna paní dokonce nedokázala udržet moč, takže ji museli často posazovat na nočník. Pak nás přivezli do tábora, každého si zapsali, zkontrolovali doklady a potom provedli osobní prohlídku. Takže nám sebrali veškeré cennosti a šperky, které teta tak pečlivě zabalila, abychom měli v Německu něco do začátku. Víte, já v Německu žiju 55 let, je to můj domov a jinde už bych žít nechtěla. Ale k Čechám mám velice zvláštní vztah, zajímá mě, co se tady děje, zajímá mě česká literatura a umění vůbec. A teď mi prosím vás omluvte, rozpovídala jsem se a vím, že ještě máte nějaké jednání. Taky bych se ráda s Nučkou podívala po vesnici. Tak nashledanou.
And here we have finished the first part of the interview, or one part of the interview, because it's up to you how you go through them. But you can see that she's still enabled, and I can go to her and I can start the interview again and ask the rest of the questions. And we have our little post-it notes filled up here with the information we learned during the interview. And the new characters, they are, what's this movement called? Maybe if there's our programmer in the chat, he can help me, but they are sort of, I don't know, chiming? This is not chiming. Maybe chiming. They are chiming. Let's say they're chiming. I'm not a native speaker, I can not use the right words. I didn't write a text for the game, don't worry. And now I guess we can go to this menacing guy, who's the big businessman who wants to tear down the schoolhouse. And judging from the looks of it, is not really keen on seeing us.
Co vy jste zač? Nikam nepolezete. Mám tam věci. Bez dozoru vás tam nepustím. A já sám nemám čas. Nestrkejte nos do toho, co je jasný. Ta škola musí pryč. A jestli chcete někomu pomáhat, tak zachraňte kostel. Farář vás rád uvidí.
Okay, apparently there is some history that is not easily tackled with when it comes to locals. So Alois Klebal here, he presents a sort of, and we will see later, pragmatic guy who doesn't care much about, the big topics like, I don't know, retribution or remembrance. He just wants to see his business thrive. His business gives people the work. So there you have the first, a little cognitive dissonance for you to sift through while playing Svoboda. Terrible things happen there. This guy apparently somehow profited from them and doesn't want to see them scrutinized, but at the same time really gives people a lot of work. So this is something you have to discover for yourself. And as we will hear more and more stories that took place somewhere, we will have these little diamonds here and there on the map, like here, and here, and here, and we can replay memories tied to that place. And we have 2 more to discover somewhere here. And
Klepalův otec v 48. rodině od starostky sebral statek.
And we can always replay a little flashback, get an achievement, which is very beautifully rendered by our artist and graphic designer. How can I? Okay, because this is a dev build, I'm not able to click onto the big square, but those are beautifully rendered by our artist Eva Nečasová. So yeah, check them out if you play the game. And let's call Mom. I always love calling my mom. Hi, Mom. I hope you're watching.
Ahoj.
Maybe Mom knows more.
Prosím tě, co by tam dělala dědova fotka? To bude asi někdo jiný. No je fakt, že byl u nějakých těch gardistů a oni se po válce pohybovali někde okolo Žatce. Bylo tam ještě spousta Němců, o tom vypravoval, ale víc ti o tom nepovím. Tak dej vědět a dávej na sebe pozor.
I guess we don't have Jan or Josef. Let's go with the Vlk because I know there's a very nice scene there.
Co by vás ještě zajímalo?
Although nice is a little, maybe not the right word. So I can ask more about the school?
No, v 680. roce školu zrušili a udělali tady z toho 2 byty. Jeden jsem dostal já a jeden dostal Joža Studnička, ten tady dříve učil. No lidi hned záviděli, protože že já, přistěhovalec, přivandrovalec, jak oni tomu říkali, takže dostal hned, když jsem přišel, statek a teď po čase byt. Ale kde pak, já jsem se narodil v českém Straklově na Volhyni.
We're also learning that Jan Vlk here not only fought in the war, but also is from this Czech region in Ukraine.
To leží, Volhyně leží na území dnešní Ukrajiny a tam se to vždycky mlelo a střídalo jedno za druhým. Do první světové války to patřilo Rusům, pak přišli většinu, potom patřilo Polákům a v 39. to znovu obsadili Rusáci. A potom po 2 letech celou Volhyň zabrali Němci. No, v červenci 43. jedna jednotka vypálila jak český, tak ukrajinský balín. Muže, ženy, děti, všechny nahnali do kostela a ten zapálili. Prý to byla odveta za útok banderovců. 500 lidí zavraždili. A ne. V Rovnu jsem nastoupil přímo do Rudé armády, ale za pár dnů se objevil u pluku československý důstojník, tak můj velitel nás nechal nastoupit a velel Čechy i Slováky, 4, šága, vperiod, marš. Byla nás většina. A tak byli jsme rádi, že jsme nastoupili do československé armády. Byli jsme všichni vlastenci. A za čas taky navíc se začalo povídat, že se možná vrátíme do Československa.
And now we're getting to the... So now you'll see that the history of the region, and this is not an overstatement for the narrative facts, but it is true that a lot of these border parts have a very conflicted history with a lot of puzzles that are making it up, or pieces of a puzzle that are making it up. So we have nationalist tensions, we have like a different immigrants from different parts of the world after World War II. We have these after-war expulsions and also the traumas from after the war and communist coup d'etat. So the game is not about single team, even though there are multiple topics that are more pronounced, but we really did strive hard to show the sort of situation that is, by the way, still very much influencing the current political climate and debate in Czech Republic as we know it today, to show them in a very complex way, but yet accessible, because you are the one who's choosing how to explore them, when to explore them.
No, mě jako neskušenýho kluka dali ke spojařům. A tam to bylo rozhodně lepší než u samopalníku. A ti nejlepší vojáci ti byli potom zařazení do parabrigády a na Slovensko byli poslani letecky, aby pomáhali slovenskému národnímu povstání. A my jsme se tam měli probojovat potom po zemi přes Dukelský průsmyk. A jestli vám to něco říká. Dukelsko-karpatská operace se připravovala hodně narychlo. Spolehalo se na 2 slovenské divize, které měly Němcům vpadnout do týla, jenže Němci je včas odzbrojili. Úplně selhal náš průzkum. Takže my na začátku boju jsme
And if you
napochodovali
don't know where
Němcům
is Dukla, you can go to encyclopedia and just check it out here and read where is it, when it is, that it's at the border between Slovakia, Ukraine and Poland. It was one of the more important, at least for our national history, battles of the World War II Eastern Front. Yet another comics, we have comics or two for each of the characters in the game. Okay, thanks for the question. Yeah, I don't think I've talked about it actually. The stories are based on the stories of real people, in the sense that our historians, and that is actually the answer to your second question, is our historians researched a lot of different stories, like hundreds and tens and hundreds of different fates, and then kind of put those together in a there's an English word for that, in a way that's I don't know, that could have happened. So even though you talk to witnesses, obviously for game design and narrative purposes and also ethical purposes, those are not real people, but are based on the stories that have happened to somebody. And we actually, like, I would spoil that, but at the end of the game, there's this one particular, a very moving, tragic story of an expelled young boy, and that is drawing heavily from one particular fate of a particular person in the 1940s. So, yeah, this was not an easy decision to make, but in the end, not letting you interview the real witnesses is probably for the best, since it would be really hard and also super non-ethical in a sense to bend their stories to the suits, to the needs of our narrative and to the game. So this was a still truthful and historically accurate way, but a way that enabled us a more flexibility when it comes to putting together the narrative and the scenes. And also what's important, as we've seen, we never let you play history. You cannot alter the events that happened. You cannot, for example, change the fact that here Wilk's friend will get shot. But, and you will only experience those pasts as an onlooker through the memories, and very clearly those memories are either black and white or in the form of interactive comics. Where your agency does lie is in the present, when you're talking to people and trying to, you know, maneuver your way through the different viewpoints and through people who have a very different understanding of things to kind of get to the core of the matter and to the truth. Yeah, you're exactly right. that and also just cutting somebody's tragic story into little pieces and letting players play them, that would feel wrong. I think I've... Okay, this is interesting. I think I've, the game is... Oh, okay, it's okay, it's okay. For a sec, I just thought I got a bug, but no. So this is happening, this is on the battlefield of Dukla Pass battle. And now I can read the letter. And just like decides if to deliver or leave it. We're obviously gonna deliver it. But we also we didn't want to be educational or overly like focused on throwing a bunches of info at you, because that could have been easy to, because then it could have been easy to overload you as a player. So we put scenes like this, which are not really, you don't learn too much stuff in them. But they are here for a purpose. They are here to craft the atmosphere, to show you the circumstances our characters been through, to sort of, you know, give you more emotional background and a clearer picture of what is it that you're actually dealing with when you're talking with the people in what is year 2003 in the game. So, by the way, the fact that a game is taking a place, the meta story of the game is taking place in 2003 is due to the fact that at that time witnesses of World War II and post-war events could still be alive. Or like it would be, again, there's an English word for that, I keep forgetting, that it would be, it would be statistically probable that they would be alive, which is not a word I wanted to use, but you get the idea.
Slíbili nám, že kdo chce zůstat v republice, tak dostane zemědělskou usedlost.
So we are closing in at the last 10 minutes
Už v květnu
of the game.
nám začínali tvrdit, že usedlosti pro hospodaření rodin
I think I will use my powers as a dev to show you yet one more interesting scene from the game, which we are super proud of, and I'm gonna use a very secret dev menu for that. Unless you have some questions or comments, but like please do have them. I will just like briefly go to the menu and show something. Plausible, yes, thanks so much, that's plausible. Thank you. Believable maybe was also the word I was looking for. Yeah, and by the way, here in the I don't think I can't exit this. You don't really debug dev tools. So we have a lot of scenes in the game, but by the way, this is a very cool mini game or playable memory. A little context which you won't have at this point, because this obviously is connected with a in-depth interview with the village's mayor, and she actually was a daughter of a farm owner, and whose farm was confiscated after 1948, or at least her father was made to give up his farm to the collective farm kolkhoz, because that's what was happening after the communists won the election in 1946 and actually took power by force in 1948. And the game goes for anything from 2 to 3 hours, because as you've seen so far, it really depends on you how much you want to explore and how much you want to delve in. I haven't had time to show you a different historical documents and another set of photos we have there. We have quite a lot scenes. You can spend quite a lot of time there, just like sifting through the old memorabilia and learning about stuff and stuff like that, if that's your kind of thing. So it's 2 to 3 hours. But this is one thing we are really proud of, because with Attenta 1942, if you know that game, one of the more pronounced criticisms was that the game is not mechanically dense, right? We had interviews, we had some, we call them mini games, but we haven't had really something super gamey. As much as the conception of what is and what's not gamey is totally problematic, since we're here on the a very art-focused festival. But we wanted to, also because our game is being sold or is catered also towards gamers, we wanted to have something very special for them. So this is a game which is basically a kind of a farm builder. This is a tutorial, so I'm just gonna go click through it. So you're asked to manage your own farm. So you seed fields, and you buy seeds and seed farms, and then buy fields. You have a money there, and you have quotas, which were actually the mandatory quotas for each farmer to submit to the state. So we will click on the next season, and yeah, you can harvest crops. So now we're in the autumn, so I can harvest crops and sell them. So I have 5,000 money. I already know that the quotas are done. So let's go to the next season.
Po válce byli všichni plní optimismu. Tátovi se začalo dařit a brzy měl největší hospodářství ve vsi. Na podzim nám na polích ještě pomáhali Němci.
Okay, and now I can buy, if I want, cow, or like hops dryer, grain processor, like, and really at this point the really game becomes a full-fledged farm simulator. So I have to calculate and think through what I want to do. So I think I need, and you have two kinds of resources. You have either grains, and grains are counted towards your quota but yield less, and you have hops, while hops are not counted towards your quota but yield more. So you have to balance those out. And we're still in 1946, so this is still a good time to be a farmer. So I'm gonna plant, I think, everything, because what else makes sense? Yeah, I could buy a field, but it's 18,000 Czech crowns or Czechoslovak crowns, so that's a lot. So let's go with next season. And now I can harvest, I have quotas, and I have what? Too bad. Oh, I can milk cow, and now I can... Okay, I can only buy a farm when it's spring. So let's see if I can buy tractor. No, it's 30,000. Okay, this yield of wheat. That sounds handy, so let's buy it. And let's go next.
Komunisti v roce 1946
and now it's 1946, and the communists have won the power, and the situation will be more and more dire and problematic. And you know, now is it? Okay, somebody wants to sell me a farm. Okay, no, I don't have money, man. Okay, so I have to keep money for planning, so I can milk cow. You can actually milk a cow every year, that's only logical. And yeah, I can't do anything else, so let's go with next season. It's 1946, so that's the things will start to toughen up a lot. Okay, so I have 26,000. Nice. Will I buy the cow? Tractor, that's two. The hops dryer. No. Okay, next season.
V únoru komunisti provedli puč.
And now there was a
bylo
putsch.
hned jasné, že bude hůř.
And the goal of, okay, the quotas have risen since communists are in power, but they have not yet really clamped down on the farm owners. So we are still somewhat okay, but I can buy a field, I think, and I will still be able to plant. Yes, I will. Nice. Milk cow. This is a good preserve, so let's go with next. And the point of this game is to really, and I can tell it to you since we're here, colleagues on a festival, to give you a sense that you are really building your own farmstead. It's all going kind of well. Now I can, you know, buy a cow and it's gonna be all fine. but
V naší
every
vesnici
year
komunisti
quota
založili
is
JZD.
increasing and
Několik
increasing,
menších
and
sedláků
really it's
do ní
harder and
vstoupilo
harder
a to nechtěli.
to keep pushing back against the communists. Like they want me now to join a collective, but why would I do that? I still have my plant, and my plant is doing well, I think. So I can milk cow, plant, and it's still all kind of okay-ish. So let's try buy field. I don't have money to plant, but I have a field, so let's go with next season. And I'm already overdue with my quotas, I think. Yeah, your entrepreneurship is not good for the village. We'll keep your grain processor for the collective for now. So now I've been expropriated. Shit. So things are getting much harder. So I have failed my quota, but I have, some money. So let's see. I've been fined 5,000.
Najednou to šlo ráz na ráz.
Actually,
Popravili
getting to
generálku
1950,
a Horákovou.
it's a really good.
Komunisti likvidovali každého, kdo se jim postavil.
So there's a way how to play this game well, right? You can try to sort of try to keep as far as long as you can. So I know I have 6 quotas. I only have 4 fields and 1 hop field, which will not yield that much, I think. So let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so I'll have harvest. It's 1950, and this is very liminal. And since the end of the stream is almost there, I'm gonna leave it here for you to try in the full version that comes in August, on August the 3rd. And I think I have time for one more question or 1 or 2 questions in the chat. I'm watching it. Please make sure to check out Svoboda 1945 Liberation either on Steam, which we have a page, or in the festival, which there should be a playable demo once the space opens. Please vote for us in the audience award, and keep your fingers crossed for us if what you've seen so far was interesting to you for the grand prize today, because I'm gonna be there, and I think we have a shot, but I don't want to be a self-fulfilling prophecy here. So yeah, so unless you have some question or some comment or remark, yeah, thank you so much, because True Crime Games just wrote us, good luck with the launch, looks fantastic, well done. Thanks so much. Your game, by the way, looks really great. Look up True Crime Games as well. They have a really nice narrative-heavy game as well. So yeah, that was it from me, from Ondřej, from Charles Games, and Svoboda 1945 Liberation. And I think somebody is by this point writing to me that I should switch it down. So you can enjoy my voxel wallpaper for a little while. And yeah, should I switch it off? I think I should switch it off, though Philip is not writing me on Discord. But I think my time is up anyway. Yes. So yeah, thanks so much, and